Welcome to the show.
Cheers, Tom. Welcome to the show. We're back. We're back with the show. We've got a guest. It's Toby, isn't it?
Oh, dear.
Welcome, Tom.
Hi, everybody.
Yourself.
My name's Tom, CapGunTom, as some of you might know me, FIFA YouTuber, and just general lurker on the internet, really.
Yeah, and we thought we'd bring on Tom for the show today as a first guest because I need a test case for better guests going forward, really, don't I? So
Wow.
Let's just get it all out there now. Let's just, if any digs anyone's got to each other today, let's just clear the air and create a good podcast.
Yeah, I think that'd be pretty good.
Okay. I mean, that was quite deep, but, I'll let it go over. I'll just let it.
Indeed. And so we had comments from the last podcast.
Yeah.
Because they asked us, we asked them to ask us at theshowpodcast.co.uk.
Oh, yeah, you got it, baby.
To send in comments. A lot of it was FIFA related, and we don't want to be not a FIFA podcast, but we don't want to be a FIFA podcast. So there is going to be some FIFA related content
we can
in
cover
the
it.
podcast because Tom is a FIFA content
creator. Maybe you should
creator.
have got somebody who wasn't a FIFA content creator.
Yeah, I'm working on that, but I need a test case. So,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I need to be like, hey, this is what it'll be like when there's a guest here.
Okay.
So you're that guy.
But
So,
we're also not going to tell you which left back to add to your Premier League squad for Foot Champs this coming weekend.
because that'd be really helpful. And if you guys enjoy the podcast, it's available on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and YouTube.
Everywhere. Then.
Yeah, everywhere basically.
Everywhere.
And
A few other places as well, actually, but I just can't remember what the website's called.
Last FM?
Could be,
Last FM. Yeah, I think it
could
is.
be.
Yeah. And
So he's bringing someone to the table already.
It is.
Cheers.
Yeah, I actually wouldn't mind. If you guys want Tom to be the new co-host, you just let me know in the chat.
Right, there's my dig. It's one old Tom.
And if you've got any more questions you want to ask, then ask at the show podcast.
So you
that
ripped
makes
me.
sense. No, because
I'll let you on.
ask at the
I'll
show
let it slide.
podcast.co.uk and get your questions in. Anything non-FIFA related would be much appreciated. So Tom, tell us a bit about yourself.
What do you want? Just like a
Relax.
career?
I want you to relax.
A career.
Do what we did in the first episode. What got you into being an influencer and a content creator on YouTube? Like why FIFA? How we met? All the cute stuff. Don't leave out any juicy details.
Okay. I started because I wanted to show off on Call of Duty. Literally,
which is funny because we you weren't. Yeah, you were COD.
No, FIFA.
You watched.
No, I was
COD.
gym videos first. Some hench.
I was COD.
Yeah.
What happened? That's my one. That's it. We'll call it 111. So he started on Call of Duty, just doing all of the sort of like stuff that was popular back on Call of Duty 4, montages, sniping, stuff like that. And I got to the stage where like obviously you're doing all this stuff and you tell people and they're just like, no, you didn't. Like you didn't jump off that building and kill someone with a sniper rifle. And then it sort of like the only way that you can show them is to show them by going onto YouTube. So I uploaded a couple of videos on that. I think that was like 2009. So that was a long time ago. I think that's when I started my channel.
Wait, what COD was that? COD 4?
COD 4, yeah. COD 4.
R700.
Yeah, well, not the R7. The M40, mate, with an ACOG.
R700 was my go-to.
Terrible at sniping.
So, yeah, that's sort of how I started. And I kind of went off to uni after that. Didn't really think much of it. Like these videos got like 50, 60,000 views, which is more than I actually get right now. So that's impressive. And I had no subscribers back then as well. Came back to YouTube at the end of university. Was playing a lot of FIFA anyway. Spent a summer watching FIFA content. I think you were probably one of the people that I was watching. There you go.
Me. All right.
And it's Raids as well on Twitch.
Oh,
do you remember him?
Yeah, he was crazy, wasn't he?
Yeah. The little donation box that had
His name was It's Raids.
Raids.
Yeah, it's right. He was the first person to have donations, wasn't he? And he got crucified for it.
He got absolutely annoyed.
And that goes back to what we were talking about the FIFA community being so far behind everything. Because every other gamer and content creator on Twitch.
So he just had personal donations on his
Twitch.
Yeah,
but they were ridiculous things. They were kind of like, I want to go to Vegas, like $1,000 donation box. You're like,
hey man, you gotta have dreams. You gotta have dreams.
But he was like holding people hostage. Like he was like, I'm not gonna continue the stream until someone donates.
Yeah, I do remember
it's like,
that. Yeah.
Right, okay. I mean, I think that's probably why he got crucified more than anything. Because the way he was sort of like implementing.
Have I never heard that name? No, I haven't.
It's old.
Yeah. We are talking like FIFA 11.
Yeah. Just the start of FIFA 12. And then started off doing some FIFA videos. I was still doing Call of Duty as well, actually, when I came back to YouTube. The FIFA videos just took off because I was doing tutorials on how to make coins, which I think everyone wanted to know at the time, and probably still do, actually. And then the channel just took off, and like I just didn't really look back from there. I got to a stage that I plateaued, did a Road to Glory, and the views sort of like leveled off.
Mission Manchester.
Yeah, Mission Manchester, those sorts of series. And like the channel sort of like leveled off. And then after that, I met Andy and Joel, and then we became like a little triangle, little power triangle, and we just sort of blew up together.
So what happened?
What happened?
Because Andy has taken off and Joel's going, I
think we just sort of like, we got to a point where
it's prestigious to be sat here. Don't bag on our own podcast, please.
I mean, I think that every YouTuber has like a lifespan on YouTube, and it doesn't matter where you are, at what time you have to be aware.
And when Neps comes, I'll be there at his front
You'll be rubbing your hands with glue.
So talking about lifespan, Toby's quit. His lifespan hasn't run out, but he's quit. So how would you know? What would cause you to say, okay, this is it, it's over for me?
When I start making a salary less than what I can make just going out and getting a job, probably.
So you quit too early?
I quit because I wasn't enjoying it.
Right, I see.
Yeah.
Two different answers there.
Enjoyment as well, yeah. I mean, it's kind of...
Obviously, you've got to make sure that what you're doing is still giving you a sustainable lifestyle.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't do it if you don't, pay your mortgage, rent,
exactly.
bills, live, food, whatnot.
Yeah.
But I just hated, I just didn't enjoy it anymore.
But you didn't enjoy FIFA, right?
I didn't enjoy FIFA.
So why didn't you try like another game?
Because there wasn't really anything that I was too passionate in at the time.
You streamed PUBG, you should have kept going with that.
PUBG,
I'm not going to lie, because you actually was so good
I used to stream that like 12 hours a day.
Yeah, I know.
I was, we were together, we were religious together. All three of us here went through probably 2 summers of where PUBG was like, that summer that PUBG was in its prime.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I don't really
that was
play
incredible.
PUBG with you much that time, did I?
Mm-mm.
Well, as he's taking the drink from the show mug, so nice, isn't it?
Yeah, they're really nice.
Match
the backdrop.
Yeah.
So you went straight from uni into content creation. You didn't do anything in between, or?
I did have a little period where I was like, okay, I finished university, and I was earning maybe like 300 quid a month or something off YouTube, and I was like, this isn't sustainable. It's fun, but I've got to get a job now. I went and did recruitment, and it didn't last long. It was like 3 months of me really not doing very much. Just I've gone through life literally going through and doing stuff that I'm like, okay, never again, never again, never again. It's more like a learning experience. And recruitment was just one of those things that just wasn't for me. And we came to a mutual agreement with the management that I would leave. It wasn't very mutual because I still needed the money, but after that, actually, that's when you got me in for a shift at the pub. Because I was living in North London, and you were running the Louise, so I came in for a shift, and then and Nep was like, oh yeah, you can do another shift. And I didn't know where the rotor was, so I didn't know that I didn't show up.
No way. That is jokes.
So promptly fired again.
Good track record, right?
That's like the shortest job I ever had. But yeah, that was actually a fun shift, the one that I did. Yeah.
There was a few people I brought in from like this industry into the pub industry. You remember Docklanders?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he came and did a couple of shifts, but it wasn't for him. I'd like to hope he'd allow me to explain the fact that he's just really awkward in social situations. So it was just really uncomfortable for him to be in the bar. But then actually one guy, like my dad just bought a new pub because Brew Louise got shut down because of HS2.
Well, now,
now he's just bought a new pub.
It's literally gone, isn't it? Or it will be gone.
Yeah, I think it's been boarded up and but the HS2 is too expensive now because of Brexit that they're not even going to do it. So it was all pointless. But I brought on a viewer. Like I literally had tweeted out like anyone in like the Camden Euston area looking for a job or need staff. Yeah. And I brought on this viewer, and he's now going to go and run my dad's new pub for him.
Oh wow!
Yeah, how crazy is that?
That is crazy. Yeah. Those are the stories you just don't hear from YouTube. Like it's just the network you get off it is just crazy.
Yeah. Someone actually emailed in saying that they used to drink at the Brew Louise all the time.
Oh yeah,
and they didn't know you had anything to do with it.
Oh, that's pretty crazy.
That was one of the emails you had in.
Yeah, I used to get a lot of like football fans like from North coming down to for London games and stuff.
That's how you train around when you're Euston.
Yeah, the trains would always come into Euston, so we'd have loads of football fans, like young and old, in the pub every weekend. They were a nightmare, but
little did they know you were downstairs in the cellar making videos.
Yeah, just like banging out FIFA. Yeah.
Why is the service so poor here? At the end of the counter, opening packs.
Yeah,
couldn't afford it back then.
No, you couldn't.
No.
Yeah, but that was like a transition period. That was the moment when I finished my job in recruitment. And I sort of like obviously worked for you. I made the decision to give YouTube a chance. and like see where I could take it. I moved back home, and my parents weren't very happy to see me back again. But I spent a year there, and literally I didn't look back from that point onwards. That was where it's all like sort of taken off. So yeah, it's pretty mental.
Yeah.
Yeah. That brings us to now and the decline.
So why?
Hold on, you've skipped a big portion. Yeah.
Okay.
You've gone from recruitment to doing it full time. So
I've got a couple questions.
Okay, go on then.
All right, so why FIFA?
Why FIFA?
If you started on COD, why did you not follow the
views? 100% views.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's fun making videos, but what's the point of making them if you're not getting the interactions and the community vibe? That's what I really enjoyed about making videos and streaming, is the whole sort of like talking to people, looking at how they would like my videos to improve, what they enjoyed about the videos. And those, we're talking like 200 views on a Call of Duty video versus like 60,000 on a FIFA video. Yeah. I mean, which one are you going to be more motivated to make more of?
No, definitely. For views, like response and comments was always something interesting for me. Like thinking about what I do now versus what I did then. I used to upload like a montage, and I'd just be so like, can't wait to people tell me like, are these goals good or whatever. And looking back on them now, they were terrible. Yeah. It was like a Ronaldo chop into a finesse shot, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm insane. And now obviously like R9 Rye would look at that and probably punch me in the face if I put that in a montage, right? But
at the time, that was mental stuff. Like that was like you were reinventing the wheel at that time with a Ronaldo chop.
I look back at some of my videos the other day, and that's why I asked. Do you remember when I came into office the other day and I was like, do you remember Westcar?
Yeah.
Do you remember Westcar? The bronze guy with like 90 something stupid pace. I scored a banger. What FIFA was that? We're talking 12?
I've no idea.
12 was like ridiculous.
Years ago, scored a banger with him. Yeah, just uploaded it as his own YouTube video because I thought it was such a go. I just wanted to flex it to people. Yeah. Like 40-yard screamer.
Speaking of R9 Rye, him and I run daily FIFA goals.
I remember
back in like FIFA 12. Had potential to bang.
And the best goal of the day, he just used to upload as its own, and that did well. Yeah, that did really well.
It was getting like 30-40k views a video at the time. It just
wouldn't monetize.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't now, but
no.
Even back then there was no monetization really. The channel wasn't partnered or anything.
So what happens to that?
It's just one of those things that just
falls by the wayside.
It does. It's one of those things like, when you're like, I had a full-time job. I think he was in school. Like, it was just one of those things where it's like to source all the goals, and like you'd be like, oh guys, send us in the goals, and it would just be like some guy sending in like him just like walking past the keeper and squaring it for a tap in. It's like, this isn't the goal of the day, is it? Like this is definitely not it. But in terms of comments, like then I used to love looking at the comment section and being like, man, I'm enjoying what they're enjoying. Now I look at the comment section and it's just memes and self-promotion, and it demotivates me to even read my own comments. Now I upload a video and I'm just like, I really hope this does well because I can't be bothered to read the comments.
That's actually one of the questions we actually had. I don't know if it's on one of the cards or not, but it was
Still got sellotape on the cards for what it's worth.
I proved to you that I learned how to get these inside the printer.
Yeah, but it was the tiniest little test on the card.
I don't want to waste your ink.
Oh,
it said toner low on the printer.
So you're happy to waste my ink on the pieces of paper that you've sellotaped to the card?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Not on the
things change in a week, right? Yeah. One of the questions was how does online hate or negative feedback / comments, could be feedbacks, sometimes people do give feedback and it's a little bit harsher than what you'd like to hear. How does it affect you in real life, I guess? I hate to use the word real life because it's a bit cringe. It is.
I think one of the things you learn earliest as a YouTuber or influencer or anyone who puts themselves in the public eye is that you need to quickly create a barrier because there are always haters and there will always be haters. It doesn't matter. So the quicker you get used to that and just block it off completely, the better you'll do. Like, you can look at the constructive stuff, but there's so much stuff that is just nonsensical that you just can't.
And that's where the line blurs. Like, and that's why, like, on YouTube it's a lot easier to just read a comment and accept it or deny it and move on with your life. But on stream, when you read a comment and it's live, some people are being really helpful, really kind, really sweet, and they're just like, hey man, you should just like try this, it might work. And I'm just like, get off my back, right? I don't need you to backseat. And they're just being nice because you've had so much of toxic people being arrogant or nasty or trying to get a reaction. So it really blurs the lines with like stream like comments. And it's one of those things where I like when I watch certain other content creators, not you handle rage quite well. You just get up and then sit back down. And
CapGunTom rage is unbelievable.
You know what, there's a lot of rage compilations of me on
I
YouTube,
think I watched one of you recently.
They've done really
golden.
well.
Those rage compilation channels have done alright, haven't they? There's a few with like million views and stuff.
I just don't agree. There's so many sections of YouTube that I fundamentally do not agree with. as like content, I'm just like, this is outrageous. How can you just literally take someone else's stuff and then chop it up and put it up as your own?
They have mad views as well.
Yeah.
The rage.
I uploaded the video where I snapped my headphones in half. It got like 10k views. That
was the one.
And then he's got it as a thumbnail and it's got like 1 million. How does that work?
It was your beats, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You got them and you just snapped them.
Okay, so there is a story behind that. I had like, my thing is to dash stuff. So like everything that's in range gets dashed across the room when I concede and I'm angry. So it'll get thrown across the room. So I'd already thrown the beats and they'd snapped, but no one had known. So I just literally like, oh yeah, get some effect out of that. Be the true creator that I am.
I think that is the angriest I've ever seen you. I was scared and I was only watching on a computer screen.
There's actually a rage compilation where there's a thumbnail clip of me and there's like this vein that's coming up that I've never seen coming out of my neck and
just looks unhealthy.
Yeah. But I've tried to reform myself from that person, you know.
And that's exactly it, right? Like when you watch certain content creators, when I watch like Skills, for example, he's just always so calm, and it probably helps him play better FIFA anyway. Yeah. But I just sit there, I'm like, man, I wish I could be that calm when I'm playing this game. I wish I could just be blasé and just take everything in my stride. And then a guy would be like, "Hey Nep," and I'd be like, "Shut up! I don't need this right now."
Hey Nep, how's your day? Not now. I don't actually think I've ever seen Skills. I've seen him raise his voice in a jokey manner when he's just like, being a character, but I don't think I've actually heard him in anger.
But that comes around to like rage compilations and just general hate watching being something that people do. Like, I watch Nick a lot and he constantly just has people bashing him. And it's like, he has a community of hate watchers. Yeah. Now, I'm sure he doesn't care because it's helped him make a crap ton of money, right? But like, what motivates someone to be like, I hate this guy, I'm going to watch him loads?
Yeah, I don't get it. Don't ask me. I'm not one of those people that sits there and, well, actually, I do quite like to go into streams and troll people, try and wind them up a little bit because it's quite funny. But at the same time, I wouldn't make a daily thing of it.
No, it's a waste of time. Although that's what you said yesterday. There are people that literally just tune into content creators just to watch, just to hate watch, basically.
Or to get a negative reaction, or because they just maybe get their 15 minutes of fame. Like that rat badge guy from yesterday. He actually had a rat badge as well. Like, he sniped me 2 times in a row, beat him once, lost him once, and then he's like, I didn't even know you were streaming.
I hate that. Just get out. Like, I just played you, had no idea. I just tuned in to say GG, bro. Get out. Just get out, you scum. I can't stand that. But there's like a whole subsection of YouTube that I don't really agree with, the whole sort of like... So there's people out there that obviously they go for a different audience, like maybe a younger audience. So their content is a lot like branded for those users. And it's silly and it's stupid, and some of the stuff they do is just like really cringeworthy. But then there's a whole subsection of YouTube that literally just goes in on those people. I really just don't agree. I just don't agree with that whole sort of.
For example, I
don't want to. There's just so many of those. Names, no, I can't. I really can't, because then they'll just come after me.
Oh, we're gonna become that podcast.
Yeah, I don't want to be that. Come on, man. Tell us a little something.
I can't.
And then we can get them on next time. Yeah, and then they can trash talk you.
Hey, listen to this audio clip from CapGunTom
that we had edited out from the podcast.
So what do you think? Like I wouldn't even say things went wrong for you, because you're still making a healthy living from the industry.
Yeah.
But what caused, like, we talked about just before the podcast, like the height of your career was like FIFA 15.
Yeah, FIFA 15, 50, yeah. I think
you was.
Oh, is that when you got Team of the Season Messi?
Team of the Year Messi, yeah. My best ever month was, I got 14 million views, which was just like absolutely nuts at the time.
That's insane.
It's absolutely nuts now for FIFA.
Yeah. I mean, I think that was. I think that
any channel.
Yeah.
15, or close to 15 million views.
Yeah. I think that was the period for FIFA though. That was the golden years, in my opinion, for growth of YouTube channels and just like people blowing up. That really was that time. I used to have a Social Blade like dashboard that I paid for, and I could see every single person who did FIFA, and I could track what they were doing. And that Social Blade had positive numbers on every single channel every single day. Now if I went and looked at that, it would be
that'd be
like
very red.
75% or more is red
Yeah.
on terms of like gaining subscribers each day.
So would you agree with me if I was to say the best years of FIFA on YouTube are behind us?
Yeah, 100%. I
100%
always looked at FIFA like this will do a Call of Duty eventually, and I think it has. I think
it has, but because of the inclusion of competitive gaming,
it's changed.
It's adapted. It's removed the fun aspect of what FIFA was and how FIFA was enjoyed. Like now, it's not about what fun team you put together and played some games with, or what pack you did, or what game you did. You know, like what kind of game with another content creator you did. Now it's like, how can I get the most for the time I put in, or the coins I've got, or how, you know, what's the meta that I need to play for? And so people just don't play the game for fun anymore.
No.
I do feel like the social side of FIFA specifically is like, there's obviously a massive casual side that people don't know about, but the social side of FIFA is really ingrained into competitive. I need to get the best out of this, and there's just no fun in it anymore. And it's kind of it's demoralizing across the board on streams, on videos, like even the content that I make. Sometimes I'm like, I'm just making some of this content for the sake of making a video, not because I'm enjoying what I'm doing, and that's never the right thing.
So would you say, so Tom, you agreed with me, would you say that is because of would you say microtransactions have influenced how the scene's changed? I would personally.
Yeah, I think so. I think that there was a formula that obviously packing good players on FIFA equals lots of views, and the problem is that we've got now this sort of like gulf between the people who earn enough to be able to pack the players, because the players that you can pack nowadays are so much more difficult to get. Like, I remember I used to do like a pack opening on like a Wednesday or something, have like 200 draft packs saved up. I would pack like probably the best team of the week, like Ronaldo, Messi, and like maybe not all of those players, but like a top 10 kind of player, maybe even 2 or 3 of them in a pack opening, and then dozens and dozens of those team of the week cards, or whatever promotion it was, like whether it was team of the season, Premier League team of the season. I think I had Jamie Vardy twice. This was FIFA 16. Had him twice, Harry Kane twice, had like Mahrez. I had like literally everyone in the space of an hour's worth of recording. Now I do exactly the same pack opening. I won't even pack one.
Yeah,
like might even make a video out of it sometimes.
Yeah, no, that's the difference. Just like looking at the number of packs that I've opened versus how many I opened then, the packs are just so much.
Even
like,
to that degree now, let's say you pack a future stars now. If you don't pack one of the top 3 or 4, no one cares. People are like, okay, I don't care. I want to see. I want to see the prime icons. I want to see the Martinellis and Greenwoods. Like nobody wants to see the like the Ajax CDM guy. Like nobody cares, and so it's
couldn't care less about Team of the Week.
No,
Team of the Week. As a casual viewer of the FIFA community, I
don't think you're a casual. This is a debate I have a lot with people in streaming on Twitter. What the definition of a casual is? You are definitely not a casual viewer. You are ingrained into this community to a degree where you know so much more. Like, in my opinion, a casual is doorbell.
Someone's at the door.
Who's that?
Oh, come on!
They really want.
We've heard you the first time.
My idea of a casual is literally somebody that kind of shows up after school, has a game against their pal, and then moves on. What do you want? Let's now play another game, and now let's play another game. That's a casual viewer. Not if you know FIFA. If you even play Ultimate Team, you're probably not casual.
I think if you've done anything past, like maybe even just searched how to score a free kick on YouTube, you're probably more than a casual.
Yeah.
But would you not say that there's a difference between a casual, from what I know of the game, and a casual player? Like, you'll know more than anyone how much I play this game.
Yeah, loads, yeah. Yeah, you do play a lot.
Far from. Yeah. But would you not say that just because... I would classify myself as a casual player.
I disagree. Really? Yeah, I think you're far... And that's where I think a lot of the misconceptions as to what I think EA are doing is they are catering to a casual player. Would you say EA cater to you?
No.
But I think what they do with all these promos, we've now extended them to 2 weeks... with the amount of
but I haven't even played 100 games this year on FIFA.
I think you have.
You reckon?
Yeah, with all the division rivals grinding you've had to do for me over the there's almost 600 games on that account. Some of it's obviously Ram, some of it's you. But with like promos and everything now, like back in the day, even FIFA 18, FIFA 17, sometimes we're like, oh, there's no promo packs in store today, like, and then not again. And now it's like you get 3 sets of promo packs every day.
Every promo has 3 lightning rounds attached to it, and it's just like, well.
And that's because even though they're so unattainable as cards, EA know that a casual guy is going to be like, let me put 20 quid in, see what I get. Now, when you've got 3 million or 10 million, 40 million people to play FIFA, I don't think they will play Ultimate Team, but if you've got 10 million people going in and just spending 15 or 20 quid here, that's who EA care about. They don't care about the content creators. They don't not care about the content creators either, but they definitely don't facilitate this game.
Oh, no way. Far from.
For me, for Tom, and even for you. Like what you would like from the game, even as what you would consider yourself as casual, is not in the game. However, the fact that their revenue is up year on year, they made $1 billion in microtransactions last year.
Yeah, that's insane.
That shows that the casual is loving the game, and EA have no incentive to change at all.
I've got a question for you. Okay, so we know that there's all these issues at the moment with FIFA Points, like loads of people cracking down on it, different countries, Belgium, for example. You can't even buy FIFA Points there. I don't think you can't open. I think you can open packs with coins, but you can't open them with FIFA Points anymore. Would you like to see the end of FIFA Points in the game?
Yeah.
I think I would as well. Yeah.
I think it'd be better. Like selfishly, it'd be better for content creators that do have the time and the resources.
Is it selfish
to create content?
Because I think microtransactions cause a lot of problems with people that have addictions.
Yeah,
I think people spend when they don't have the means to spend. Mm-hmm. So is it? No, I mean, is the only person it's not selfish to EA?
Yeah, no, definitely. I wouldn't say.
Joking aside, is it?
No, yeah, I wouldn't say like for me that. Like, I don't think the only reason why I'd be happy with it is because I think it would benefit me, but it would be a nice, like...
Oh, it'd be brilliant,
like benefit of the fact that I can afford to just spend all day getting the coins to do it. Like, going back to pack openings, now all of a sudden packing a team of the week would be sick again.
Yeah.
Because it's like, who can have
actually,
coins to open a pack?
Who can actually do that?
Well, any pack opening would be...
Yeah.
Because what pack in FIFA have you opened that's actually worth it? Okay, mega pack, 35,000 coins. You know what you're getting. You know, like the rares, the golds, whatnot. Is 35,000 coins worth that? No,
definitely not.
Is a 100k pack worth it? Is an ultimate pack worth it? Is a 7.5? Is a 5k pack worth? The only pack that is probably worth it is bronze or silver.
Yeah, bronze or silver packs.
So that would make pack openings
massive.
Huge.
Yeah,
absolutely huge.
I'd like to see it just because I feel like EA have become very, very lazy with the game. I feel like what they've done to reinvent it, add new modes is limited at best. I just don't think that they've done a good enough job with what is probably the highest grossing game
other than Fortnite.
Like they've got the money there to pump it back in and reinvent the game. But I feel like if the FIFA points go, they have no choice. They will have to reinvent it to try and keep their player base.
So first of all, they don't necessarily have the money. Like they make billions of dollars. But their profit was, I want to say only $330 million.
Yeah.
And that is because FIFA finances a lot of the other projects of other games and stuff that they have. Mm-hmm. But I think if FIFA Points went in terms of packs the way we know it, there would be microtransactions like Fortnite for cosmetics, which is why I think with what's the new game of Volta, right? So with Volta, like
what's that? Remind what that is again.
Who plays Volta, right?
It's that thing that's annoying pop-up every time you start the game on a new account.
I know the one.
So with Volta, they do have a store for cosmetics, and so it wouldn't surprise me if they're using that as a test case, which is why they don't have online team play, because they don't care about the actual game mode itself, but what they care about is using it as a way to see how people interact with buying cosmetics versus buying packs.
With FIFA points.
Yeah, with FIFA.
You literally buy cosmetics for Volta with FIFA points.
I don't know if it's FIFA points.
And you know what's crazy? I said that to like take the mick out of it. But how much have I spent on League of Legends skins?
Yeah, exactly.
Rainbow Six skins.
Fortnite skins.
Yeah, I've spent loads.
I'm smashing Rainbow Six at the minute. I think I dropped 50 quid the other night just because I wanted the limited edition skins for the operators.
I think the best thing about it is you don't begrudge spending the money either.
No.
Because you get exactly what you're paying for. Every time
I regret that £50 I dropped the other night. Hell no, man. My operators are looking slick right now.
Every time I drop £80 into FIFA 72, whatever it is, I'm just literally, I walk away, I'm like, never again. And I'm like immediately like, let's put some more on.
Yeah, I do feel disgusted when I spend FIFA points.
Yeah.
So, because mostly for me, I sit there and think, well, a few things come into mind. Like, first of all, I've got, a family. Like, okay, it's only £80 in the grand scheme of things, which I know some people have been like, what do you mean only £80? Like that? Yeah, but like, for me, it's only £80. But I've got kids to think about. I've got, futures and college and so on and so forth. But the other thing is like, is this actually enhancing my content in any way? And the answer is usually not.
No. And it's a hard breakaway because there was definitely a mould for FIFA that I don't think is working so much anymore unless you're willing to be a Bateson, be a Castro, and literally just go absolutely balls deep with it. Like the amount of money that they spend every week during a promo actually makes me feel physically ill. I'm like, this is crazy. I could, like, if you'd said that was where this was going, like 3 or 4 years ago, I'd been like, no way.
Yeah,
no way.
I'll probably just quit there and then. I'd just been like, nope, count me out. I'd be like, wait, do FIFA point prices change? No, it says, oh yeah, cool, count me out.
Although, remember the, what was it? Was it rupee FIFA points back in FIFA 15? You used to be able to buy them from India, and it worked out about like.
You change your region.
On the console.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah,
people started saying you could get banned for it, so some people stopped doing it.
Yeah,
I carried on.
Yeah,
wasn't it China? You bought.
No, see, I bought them from India.
Oh, I think I did China.
It's like the exchange rate had changed like massively.
Oh yeah, so you saved like 30 quid per 12,000.
And so to remedy that, do you know what they did? They upped the price because like Nick used to get FIFA
so
points.
We just shafted India and China.
Well, everywhere. Like in Canada, Nick used to get FIFA points for $79.99 Canadian dollars, which was I couldn't even tell you, like £30 or something like that. Now it's like $149.99 for the exact same product because they don't want me to be like, hey Nick, can you log into my account, load up my FIFA points, and then give it to me. And it's just predatory, isn't it? It's like they're doing their best to get as much as they can from everyone.
So why was it cheaper for Nick than us? Why was that EA's price?
I don't know. Taxes.
Was it just the way currency?
How it taxed, or what they thought. They probably did a whole load of research into what consumers were willing to pay.
Yeah,
that's pretty interesting. You know,
yeah,
I find that stuff interesting.
Yeah.
It's good because we didn't turn this podcast into FIFA.
Oh yeah, we can go back to something else. Do you want to?
We're still talking about your career, like the height of your career. I guess,
so the height of my career was definitely the years that we lived in the house, or the first year that we lived in the house. So that was the house with me, Homeless Penguin, Toby, Oakley, Andy, Reeve, and am I forgetting someone? That's going to be deep if I have.
Fish?
No, I said Fish. I think that was all of us.
No, that's him.
And I had the office downstairs.
Yeah.
That was definitely like the peak. I remember just uploading like a draft. You know, there was that period where it's like 193 drafts are amazing and they just did so well. I was uploading like one of those and it was getting like 800, 900k views. And I was like, this is crazy. And that was the summer I was actually going out and doing Pokemon Go as well on top.
Oh, dude, your Pokemon Go. You did very well.
I banged on Pokemon
Go. Like a secondary income from Pokemon Go.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. So we ran a website called anypokemon.com, which was effectively we could catch you any Pokemon you wanted. So whatever.
Someone from uni?
No, just a friend.
I remember you telling me about it.
It was actually one of Kat's, my wife's friends from work, who we were quite friendly with.
What happened with that?
Just the sort of like it became okay. So it's very difficult to sell digital goods. We were.
Tell that to EA.
Yeah, we were like with the gateways we were using. We were kind of inexperienced. We hadn't done this before. We sort of like got in and sort of like tried to make it work as we were going along. Things with the game were quite difficult.
So explain to the viewers what actually was the site.
Okay, so you could log on and say you wanted a Charizard for your Pokemon Go account. You give us your details, we log in, bang, we go and get you the Charizard by spoofing GPS. It was basically like anyone can do it, but like kids or I don't know, they just don't know how to do it. So we'd be able to go and catch them whatever Pokemon they wanted. We went through loads of like little turmoils during it because they changed like the API, which is like the key which you access the back end of the game from. And eventually we had it all automated. We had I think we had my brother and like 3 other people all fulfilling orders like maybe 6 hours a day.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it was really good. It was really good. It just sort of dried up. The main problem we were having was the payment gateways. So, like, because you weren't physically sending them a product with a postal receipt, I think this was about 3 or 4 years ago when the rules were all different. You couldn't prove that you'd sent them anything. They charge you back, and then bang, as soon as you build up a certain number of chargebacks, the company's like, or PayPal or WorldPay or whatever it is, they're like, this is dodgy. We're gonna shut you down. And so like our PayPals and stuff all got closed, and we were kind of like, well, it was fun while it lasted. And and then Pokemon Go had its bubble. Like I wasn't making the videos to promote it anymore. And We were just like, you know, we had a good run. Like, let's just leave it at that. Let's not, you know.
They let that game slip hard.
Yeah,
they had the world on strings.
I've never seen anything like it. Never. Like, I'd walk into any of the big parks in London because I was making the content at the time.
Dude, we used to go out in Central and people, you just see like a group of, and I want to say kids, but it wasn't even kids. You just see people with phones in their hands, sprinting somewhere, like, Tom, they've seen someone over there. And you just join this group of people, and then you just be running something, and then there'll be like a massive huddle of people like catching this Pokemon.
Did you come up to Resonate Festival when we went? I swear, because we were up in Scotland. We went up, and then Joel was there, and it was like this festival, and it was right in the height of like Pokemon Go season.
So it was a gaming convention, wasn't it?
And they were like, Tom, you're going to be on the stage at like 1:00. Like 5 to 1 rolls around. I see a Gyarados like appear on like the nearby. I was like, I'm sorry, guys. Everyone in the convention's like out there with them, like they're with them.
Gyarados. All you heard is Gyarados. Yeah. Tom, Gyarados.
It's up the river.
Yeah, it's up the river, wasn't it?
Confirmed. It's up the river. Everyone
just like out the back exit, they were behind the stage. Sprinting down this river to catch it. And I was like, wait.
Oh yeah,
Tom, I think you're meant to be on stage.
Yeah, no, it was.
What happened with that?
Yeah, well,
just wasn't on stage.
No, I just wasn't on stage. They kind of understand. I was like, I kind of said before, I was like, there's something I've got to go and do. They were like, okay, just be back as soon as you can. I was like, okay, fine.
Just didn't mention the fact you're catching a virtual Pokemon.
Well, it was a gaming festival. Probably would have been okay with it, to be honest. So yeah, that was Pokemon Go. The house was amazing. Like I think all of us were doing quite well at the time. Then it was Andy and Reeve. They wanted to go and live with their girlfriends. So they moved out, and me, you, Oakley, and Rob went and got a house somewhere else. This is where it all sort of like went wrong for me. Like this is like, I don't want to put all of my failures down to this, but this definitely threw me for a loop. So I had actually planned to go on a year-long trip. I was supposed to go to Canada. This was with my girlfriend, now wife. Go to Canada. We were going to go to Australia. We were going to go to New Zealand. And I had like a PC and everything ready to go. Like that was going to take with me.
I remember the PC arrived. You used to streaming heavily a lot of the time.
Yeah, exactly. At that time, we were maybe like 3 days away from leaving. And my dad was diagnosed with cancer. He had pancreatic cancer. And that just literally threw me for a loop. I mean, at the time, I thought I was dealing with it quite well. It was because it's me, my brother, and my mum. I was the one who sort of like I feel like I was the one that had to try and step up to, you know, be strong and be there for them. And realistically, looking back, I didn't deal with it very well at all. I completely shut myself off. I was playing League of Legends for like 8 or 9 hours a day and just completely closing myself off from the whole situation. And during that time, I wasn't motivated to make videos. And yeah, it was just like a really rubbish time. We didn't go on the trip because of it. And yeah, sadly, my dad passed away like a year and a half later. And yeah, I don't know. I didn't really recover from that. Like when I came back, when I was ready to come back, obviously to want to take some time after it all goes on. I wasn't the same. I don't think I personally was the same person. I wasn't as fun, bubbly. The scene had changed. The things that I was doing before weren't working as much. People
just didn't have the interest to keep up of it at the time.
Yeah, I mean, I
wasn't on the priority list.
Yeah,
at the time.
No, exactly. I mean, I uploaded a video here and there, but you know, I think it was just one of those times. It's just very difficult to deal with those kinds of things, and also try and be this fun, carefree person that everyone wants to tune into for YouTube. Like that is like really draining. And yeah, I just didn't.
So do you feel you got that back now? You feel like you're.
I think I'm still the same person, but because of the time that I wasn't there and in the sort of like the scene, I didn't adapt like everyone else did. I didn't change my content because I still do the same sorts of videos that I did on FIFA.
But so do I.
16, yeah.
A lot of the stuff that I do now is the same stuff from back then as well. And in terms of not adapting, I don't think like. You have your reasons why you didn't adapt, but a lot of people didn't adapt.
No.
Like a load of people fell by the wayside. Like in FIFA 15 and FIFA 16, collaborations were huge. It pushed everyone. It wasn't for me. I tried it a few times. It just didn't work. You know, was you at Skills House with me where we did was that you? Or was that Tani?
No.
That was you as well, wasn't it?
Was I there?
Yeah, you was there. Remember
back in the day.
The boards.
Yeah.
Did that. Who's
most likely to?
Yeah,
that kind of stuff.
That kind of stuff. And it was a content that I hated making, so I just stopped and went back to what I was doing, which at that time was less views than everyone else. And I'm, obviously I'm envious. I'm looking at all these channels like popping off, and I'm like, man, I just
mine bang probably did that.
Yeah,
mine Would You Rather with you, Skills and Fangs. Yeah, I think it's on like 500,000.
Yeah, and so when that scene changed, more specifically for FIFA 17, when FUT Champs came in and people were now like hyper focused on rewards and getting better at FIFA, that benefited me massively. But a lot of people didn't know how to transition into
I didn't.
that.
Like it definitely changed from, because you were kind of like, I love playing this game. I really hardcore like to play this game and can teach you stuff about the game. Whereas I was more like, I like to make stupid entertainment videos where we open packs and try and pack players, and then we scream when we don't get the players that we wanted and stuff like that, which was like, people genuinely at the time were like, you don't care about this, but that is my personality. I genuinely still get like that hyped up when I get a good player from a pack. And it just, I mean, it's just transition. You never know, because genres just generally cycle round and round.
Yeah, absolutely,
so we'll probably see a time when like collaborations and just like fun entertainment videos come back and start working on FIFA.
Trends just recycle themselves.
Yeah.
Well, the Road to Glory trend is on the downturn again now. Like it popped off for like 17, 18 and 19, and now it's
it's on the way back around. It's kind of interesting to look at how everything kind of develops. But I think because of that time where I stopped, a lot of the people who were like my core audience stopped watching me because I wasn't uploading as much. Maybe they weren't enjoying the content as much because I wasn't as good or as enjoyable to watch because of all of this stuff going on in the background. And it's just how it all developed. And then I came out the other side, and now I'm actually backing up. Well, I have been for like the last 2 years or maybe even 3, like back uploading regularly. But that core audience isn't there anymore.
Yeah.
And also, I don't feel like your core. I feel like your core is still there and still really good.
Yeah.
But I don't think we're like recycling or having new viewership go into our area of FIFA.
Yeah.
If even FIFA at all that we used to see.
Yeah, no, I agree. And that's what's interesting about when EA give information about how many people play this game, and they're like 40 million people play this game. And I'm like, why aren't they watching videos? Like social media is so big now.
Yeah.
Why aren't they finding the content? Mm-hmm. Like when you look at Fortnite, those content creators get millions of views. Yeah. Minecraft, they get millions of views. Yeah. Everyone's like looking for a content creator. And then in FIFA, where are these people? Like, why aren't they? And,
why aren't they?
Yeah, literally, why aren't they watching? And that's always something that's interesting to me, to make me feel like maybe they are and they don't know what to search for, or maybe there's so much saturation that even if they do find a video, it's daunting. You know, like imagine if you type in free kick tutorial and then it brings you skill games, ultimate team, career mode, head to head, the new friendlies mode, and you're like, wait, I actually don't know what I want out of this. Like, and then they'll just click off. So,
they watch one, they're kind of like, oh, this wasn't for me, I'm done. And they're out, and then they never come back. I mean, it's just interesting to think about how people get onto the platform in the first place.
Yeah.
But just like as a metric, just to think across the board, like back on FIFA 16, people could eat quite happily. I think like you would have got loads of videos over 1 million views, and I don't know how
maybe like 9 or 10, I think.
Yeah, how many of you had like in this year like 1 million views?
None.
Yeah. And I don't think that there's that sort of like pull. Like obviously the Sidemen all moving away. They come back now, but the Sidemen, Harry especially, who's driving like big numbers of people into the FIFA scene, just aren't there. So
what's interesting though, I don't know if you've ever looked at this in your analytics, is you can see how many unique viewers you've had on a month-to-month basis or a video-to-video basis. And for me, it's like 1.4 million, like on a good month.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if I've got that many unique people visiting my channel every month, why aren't they watching every video?
Yeah.
You know, I'd be massive.
Yeah.
I'd be so rich.
Yeah.
But how can I unlock it so that these, like, even not all of them, but more of them, what I'm getting out? Because, you know, views are so steady, and it's like, how can this many unique people watch me? But on a video-to-video basis, it's the same sort of 150, 200,000 viewers.
Here's a question then. Out of the 1.4, did you say? What fraction or amount of the 1.4 do you reckon watch every single video?
Well, it's 50? About 10%, isn't it? Or do you mean like
out
of those people, which
ones watch everything of it? 50,000? Like religious?
Yeah, I'd probably say
50 to 80?
50 to 80,000.
Because you'll get some people that watch this video, that video, they'll watch, it's the weekend.
Which means there's about 5% of the people watch one video here or there. And it's like, that's such a small portion.
Yeah.
Like what captures that guy and not the next guy, and so if you could unlock that, you could become you could like obviously increase your stature within the community. And so for someone like you that's almost trying to come back to the glory days, like it must be hard to try and figure that out. Not saying that I'm like
but
some.
Then again, I've seen plenty of people go through it. Like there was a time when AA9 Skills was losing subs every single day, and admittedly he had a shorter period than what I did, because I've been losing for a long time, about to dip under the 1 million, so that'll be a good day. But he's made a massive comeback, like, and now he's back in the positive. Tusing, they had a really bad period where they were losing subs every single day. So like they've all managed to turn it around. So I've never like in a situation where I'm like I'm just going to keep going until I burn out. Like I always think there is an opportunity to come back.
And do you think you'll burn out before you drop out? So that's like one of my biggest fears is that, you know, people just stop watching me over the next year or two, and I'm like, oh, crap, what do I do now? You know, like what job do I go and get? Like, how am I going to make a living, kind of thing? So, like, do you feel job security here? Like,
so this is something that I've definitely been thinking more about in recent times. Like, just sort of like the long-term financial stability for myself, because obviously got responsibilities and stuff. You know, mortgage to pay. Planning to have a family soon and stuff like that as well.
Oh, that's something I want to get onto for you soon.
So I've been actually looking at alternate solutions to the problem. There's no mystery that I made quite a lot of money on YouTube during those really good years. Now I make an all right living. Like, I think a lot of people will be really happy to make this the kind of money that I make off YouTube now. But I had a couple of years that were amazing, and that sort of like money is just sat in a bank and just done nothing except go down in value because of inflation. So I've been looking a lot into sort of like setting up things outside that don't need so much attention from myself, that can run in the background. And in the meantime, I can just keep on doing YouTube, and hopefully by the time YouTube is done, I'll be financially independent, or whatever word they're using nowadays, to sort of like just keep on going, and then fingers crossed, like, won't have to have a job after that. Right?
So what do you want to do? So if YouTube finished up whenever, let's just say it finished up everybody tomorrow, what would be your after YouTube career path, hobby, something that you want to fit into afterwards?
So I mean, like, my degree at university is now completely worthless. Computer
science, wasn't it?
Yeah, computer science. Like, I wouldn't even know how to open a coding program anymore. Like, I genuinely wouldn't. I barely knew at the time. I had some really good friends who sort of pulled me through. I mean, that's completely defunct. So I wouldn't be able to go into anything that required any sort of degree. Maybe I could go into some sort of consulting within social media. I don't know, setting up other people's social medias, or maybe even going to talent management, but I don't know if that's really for me, because I know from the experience I had in recruitment that selling isn't really for me. And effectively those jobs are just selling. That's you selling yourself or selling your service to other people so that you can go and make some money. Like, I just don't think that's for me. So I'm thinking that property is probably where I'm going to end up. Just sort of like, I'm almost completing on my first buy-to-let, and I should be doing that in the next week and a half, although it's been a bit of a bumpy road. It's not easy. And this is just a test to see where it really sort of like takes me and what is actually achievable, because there's a lot of channels out there that are sort of like, oh yeah, if you do this you can sort of like make this much money from a buy-to-let. If you want to, I should probably explain what buy-to-let is, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
Effectively,
before you do, are you going to do buy-to-let to rent out long-term, or are you going to do like Airbnb buy-to-let?
No, long-term. Because I want to have it as little hassle as possible, so I can keep on doing YouTube on the side. It's to have as little hassle as possible. So a buy-to-let is effectively just buying a property that you then intend to rent on a long-term basis to people, and then you just take the rent, and that makes
But you get
money.
better rates because you've agreed not to live in it, right? Is that how it works? Is it different rates?
It depends. I mean, it's all, there's so many.
Is there some incentive to buy to let?
No, not really. No, they actually they actually want to make it. They were trying to make it worse and worse.
Why would they do that?
Because they want some of your.
Surely,
because
the government wants to. The government wants to
buy.
tax you at every single stage, and like they think that, you know, taxing those people that are in the bracket where they can afford a second property or a third property or whatever it is, they can afford to be taxed a bit harder. So they always go after.
I said to Toby the other day, what was it? The banks took like, if you check how many billions of dollars from people that were in overdraft.
Oh yeah, overdraft fees in the UK.
Yeah, like,
for 2019 was, I remember you saying the
like
figure
billions.
to me. It was disgusting.
And it's like they're literally taking money from people
that don't have
money. Yeah,
like,
it's crazy.
Yeah, It's crazy. Absolutely
it's crazy.
And yet we're the scumbags for having a sponsorship on one of our videos.
Yeah. Well, that comes with like a lot of that is like not miseducation, but like, so again, I was talking about this on stream. It's like in the FIFA community, or not in the FIFA community, that's unfair because it's not all of the FIFA community and it is other people in other communities. But some people just really begrudge people's success.
Yeah.
And because we have a much younger audience, I don't think they necessarily, again, not globally speaking, but just certain people, you know, if you're like a 14-year-old, why do you deserve to get money for making FIFA videos?
Yeah.
All you're doing is playing FIFA, and that's like people's outlook. And so yeah, it's like it's nice when people understand the fact that, okay, I'm in a privileged position, I make a good amount of money, but I've still got to protect my future and my income and my mortgage and my family. Yeah. So when a brand deal presents itself and it's a good fit, yeah, I'm going to take it.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. I think the whole brand deal thing is ridiculous. Like, oh, what a sellout. Well, you know, it's my job. Like,
it's getting better. It is getting better over years, slowly but surely. In the FIFA scene, it's becoming more, less frowned upon, I should say.
I think so.
But yeah, like we've discussed this before, the FIFA scene is just so far behind when it comes to working with companies, brand deals, sponsorships.
Yeah. It's also not just necessarily FIFA scene, but companies don't seem to reach out to FIFA content creators. Like, we seem to just have the least amount of brand deals. And like when you look at like even Castro as a prime example, yeah, he's got G Fuel, he's got Steel Series, I believe.
Scuff, I believe, as well.
Yeah, maybe Scuff. And then that's it. Now he is massive. Like he is one of the biggest like social stars out there.
His social reach
is
on another level.
Yeah. And then you look at like 100 Thieves and they have Cash App sponsor, Red Bull sponsor, the chair company, like that, you know, their new company. The PC, like so Cash App bought them their office.
Yeah.
And like that's not,
and it's the most
cheap.
insane facility.
Oh, it's crazy.
That
video is
right. And then you look at some of the content creators in FIFA that aren't necessarily as big as 100 Thieves, but aren't far away from it. And on a one-on-one basis, Castro's definitely up there with the biggest content creators of 100 Thieves.
Oh, easily.
And he's got a couple of brand deals. And it's like, why aren't these companies reaching out to him and to other FIFA content creators or other gaming content creators? Like, what is it? And like, again, is it the audience? Do they just assume that we have such a young audience that don't have money to buy products with? But then again...
But you'd think that our demographic, male...
Yeah,
I was actually looking at the analytics of episode 1 just before we recorded this, and obviously it was like 99% male, but I think it was like 88% are from 18 to 32.
Yeah, and
which you'd think is a perfect audience.
That is a little bit misleading because you have to be 13 to create a YouTube account in the first place. So a lot of people use their mums and dads' accounts, which is the 1% of women is probably a young boy watching on his mum's YouTube channel, you know. So, but yeah, like I don't know if it's the same for you when you look, but my like biggest audience is 18 to 36.
Yeah,
which goes right against the whole kids watching you know, influencing kids. Well, not really. Like they don't particularly watch me very much. I guess the content I produce isn't really for them.
No.
But maybe the content Castro produces is definitely more geared towards that much younger audience.
Well, the email of the guy that used to drink at the Brie Louise.
Yeah.
If he was boozing down at the Brie Louise a couple of years ago, I'm hoping that he's at least in his of a legal age. Yeah. But yeah, no, there is like a misconception of it must be like all 12-year-olds watching you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, there are some young football fans and FIFA fans that enjoy the game, but there are also
I do remember
some people.
Where was it? It was. What event did I go to last year? No, not last year. It wasn't a Gamescom event. It was somewhere else. Might be it would have been when I went to Florida for one of the charity events.
GuardianCon.
Yeah, and this mum and dad came up to me, and I was like, okay, like here we go. But the dad was like, look, like my little boy just like loves your videos and stuff, and he was like 5, and for me that was an eye opener because I was like, wow, like first of all, that's when I stopped swearing in my videos. Literally, that interaction with that kid made me think, okay, as a parent, how can they let him watch me? But also, like I shouldn't be this person to people that young. I shouldn't be influencing them that young. But just open my eyes to the fact that literally all ages are watching, and you do have so much power over people. And I don't mean that in like a oh, look at me, almighty powerful way, but like the most innocuous, innocent thing you say could have a whirlwind, life-changing impact on somebody the other end of the screen, and that's scary. It
is scary because you're basically talking about a chaos theory, aren't you? You just have no idea where that one interaction with that person can send that person. You could have a really good effect, or you could have absolutely catastrophic effect.
Yeah, that's definitely like not troubling, but it's something that I do think about like a fair bit, which is why I quite often try and be as positive as possible on stream and as like uplifting as possible. And when people like, hey, I've got my GCSEs next week, what should I do? And I'm like, well, read a damn book, pal.
Close Twitch, close Mixer.
No, but yeah, it's like some kids, like I always have in my mind, like when the kid's being a troll or something, and I'm like, okay, so who is this guy? Like in that instance, I'll probably like snap back at him or make some sarcastic comment. But then I think afterwards, like he could have been some guy that comes in from school, getting bullied at school, just doesn't have much in his life, just sitting in his room and his parents like hate him or don't give him any attention or get the comfort that he needs. And so he's just kind of like lashing out in the only way he knows how. And all I've done is reinforce the fact that his world is crumbling because I've lashed back at him rather than been like, hey man, let's talk about this, which is why quite often, I don't know if you're ever watching the streams when I do it, when someone puts a toxic message in a chat, I'm like, no, don't ban him. Let's talk about it. Let me talk to this guy about it.
Why is that your opinion?
Yeah, because I just want to, like, in the most non-sappy way possible, I just want to know what his problem is. So I want to help him, like, with that issue.
Yeah.
But then when he comes back with some
little
response, you're like,
and at that point,
that's it, get rid of him, guys,
burn his ass.
Well, that's what I'm like, aren't it? If they come back with another toxic response, I'm like, okay, this guy's just a little troll. Let's get rid of him. But sometimes I end up having like some really good, insightful discussion with someone.
Maybe how I wrote that first message wasn't how I meant it to come across. This is actually what I meant. Sorry if the first message came across wrong.
Yeah, and then we end up having
some people even say, sorry, I've had a bad day.
Yeah, I've had that a few times.
Everyone has them. No one's like.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So where do you see yourself going from here?
I don't know. I mean, like at the moment, it's just like a keep on going to see.
Just coasting.
Yeah, just coasting. Just see what happens. If something comes up that looks like it's an opportunity, like maybe another Pokemon Go, for example, or you just never know when these things are going to start coming about. Just like sleep. It's a sleeper stage. Just waiting. Keep on making videos. People still enjoy them, so just keep on uploading videos that people enjoy. And then when something potentially comes along, that's when I'm going to be ready, getting ready.
Ready to pounce.
Yeah, I'm in training at the moment. I'm running upstairs, cheering at the top of them in my sweatshirt and my hoodie and stuff like that, like a rocket moment. So just ready for the moment.
So what do you do outside of the influencer world?
What do you mean outside? What hobbies? And stuff?
What hobbies do you do? What do you do in your spare time? I know you like a good night out.
I mean, like, getting older, so I don't like a night out as much as I used to. I've been on a couple this week and it's really finished me. Like 2-day hangovers, you don't realise that these things exist when you're young. But
I can't go. I couldn't do Friday, Saturday these days.
No.
I used to do it when we were in that first house. I used to go out Friday, Saturday. I'll be good by Sunday evening. Yeah. If I go out Friday now, God, I'm still feeling it Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
I just get booze on stream.
Yeah, and as I found out.
What badass. My things outside of YouTube, mainly running. That's like my big thing.
Do you ever feel like like sometimes almost like a responsibility to also share that with the social media world?
Yeah, I feel like sharing that is actually, I feel like I get more like happiness out.
Responsibility though.
I feel like I get more happiness out of sharing stuff like that rather than just like a FIFA post. Like FIFA post is obviously.
Or would you say it's your obligation to share what you do? Not necessarily in your personal life. I'm not meaning like throw stuff onto social media. But you said when
we were talking about this last night. I talked about like when I play another game. Is it your responsibility
to share?
Everything.
I don't want to use the word personal life because personal life makes it sound like we're talking like
you and your wife had an argument and you're
no, not sort of like that. But like
I don't feel like it's any influencer's responsibility, obligation to share. They can share what they want.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's stuff that I share with my running and, like, what I'm doing personally that I hope that is usually positive because if that positive thing can then just go on to influence, like, one person out of the 200,000 people who follow me on Instagram or whatever. Like, a little flex there. Yeah. Like, even if it's, like, a conversion rate of, like, 0.0001%, that's a full person's life that you could have potentially put in the right direction. Yeah. Maybe there's someone who's getting bullied because they're overweight and they're like, oh, Tom goes for runs, I'll start running, and then bang, out of nowhere, you know, he changes the whole trajectory of his life, and he's, you know, happier and whatever. That's something that is something that's good could come out of what I do.
I'm a massive fan of the influencers that I follow, and I say this to you all the time. Skills is up there. I just like seeing what he does besides FIFA.
Yeah.
Like if he does a story and he's like showing his champs team, I'll just swipe. I'm just like, I know I like Skills as a content creator, good content. I just in the least disrespectful way, I just don't care about his champs team. But when it's him walking around his house saying what he's been up to at the weekend, count me in. I'm so
one of the things that I struggle with though is like, if I were to say to stream, oh guys, I'm going to end stream now, and then I'll tweet out like, oh man, I just started a new Minecraft world, this is pretty sick. Just get inundated with stream it, turn stream on, stream on.
Yeah.
So I always feel like this responsibility to anything that I do, like, you know, we're going to go to Germany, might drive there in a Lambo. Everyone's like, oh, stream it, yeah, stream that. Like, or even just get in a car.
Oh, stream it.
Yeah, make a video on that. Let me see a video on that. And it's like I find it difficult to segregate from my life what I can do that I just get to enjoy versus what I do that has to be part of my job and my responsibility to the fans. So
I think I've always been quite separate with my YouTube and my personal life, just because Kat, she doesn't want to be in front of the camera, which is perfectly fine. If someone doesn't want to be on like a YouTube channel put out there socially, that's up to them. So I've always just like kept FIFA on the channel, FIFA, and just generally, if there is something that I personally want to share, then I will share it. But I don't feel obligated to share anything, to be honest.
I don't feel any influencer should feel that pressure to put whatever they don't want out there.
You need time to recharge.
Yeah,
like, you gotta have your time, don't you?
And speaking of having your time, we're about that time.
What time?
Well, it's been an hour now. We've got the 5-minute notice. Not that we're limited to an hour.
To wrap up.
Yeah, but
see, we didn't even need these notes.
Yeah, we didn't. Yeah,
and that one's
empty.
Excluding the blank ones, there were.
That one's got sellotape on it.
Let's have one question off there, and then.
All right, here's one. This fits Tom as well.
Who should you use at left back in your Premier League?
I have 500k. I'm not I'm joking. It's not. It's hello Nep, and anyone else that is there. Actually, cool. Says that. So that's me and you. Yeah, nice. I'm going to uni this year, and it's going to be quite a big change. Any general advice for leaving home? I guess I'm good at the everyday tasks like cooking and cleaning. I was just getting used to being away from the family that I'm worried about. Any advice? Perfect question for Tom. Someone that's been to uni, experienced it all, and.
I use uni as like a big reinvention for myself. I didn't really like the person I was before I went to uni.
I think a lot of people do that.
Yeah, it's your chance to have a clean slate. Go in there, get involved in everything.
So let me ask you with that: if you reinvented yourself when you went home, who was you? Was you your new self or your old self?
I was my new self. All my friends were like, "We don't even recognise you." Like, we don't. Yeah, we don't. They were like, they were kind of like, "Who is this guy? You're full of confidence. Like, you've changed so much." And it's quite nice.
You hear that so much though that university.
I think university makes people. I think it makes people grow up, makes them become more social. It's very easy to get away with having your small group of friends at school, and then secondary school, and then college. But like going to university, obviously everyone splits up.
Two questions then. First of all, why did you reinvent yourself?
I didn't really like the person I was before I went away.
Valid.
Yeah.
And how did uni build you or change you? Like, what was it about? Like, I've never been to uni. So, for example...
Before that one gets answered, though, people are going to want to hear, what didn't you like about yourself? Like, the first thing when you say I didn't like who I was then, my thought is, like, so who was you and what didn't you like about yourself?
I was just, I was a complete introvert. I mean, my character is introverted anyway, but I was just in a completely introverted space, didn't go out, made excuses why not. I didn't want to go out. Didn't want to do anything, and it was just like
maybe we need to send you to uni for a little bit.
And like I just didn't really. I mean, I just didn't have that many like a big group of friends that I just wanted to see all the time. And I just like went to uni. I was like, I've got to change this. Like, you've got to use the opportunity, and I did.
So did you have to force yourself to change at uni, or did you? Yeah. Because was the new
really
scene
difficult.
Was it easy for you?
No, really difficult.
Really? You really had to like throw yourself.
Like the first day I got there, I was like, okay. Like, what do I do now? What do I do now? The fresh reps came around. They were like, okay, so we're having like pre-drinks down in the kitchen. I was like, do I even go to this? Like, I could just stay in my room and play FIFA or something.
Well,
like, no excuse to
like uni accommodate, like dorms.
In the halls. And I just thought, I was like, let's do it. Just went down there, like. acted like I was like just one of the lads or whatever. Just tried to be.
I'd pay so much to see that.
Yeah, I know. But the thing is, everyone is in the same position.
No, yeah,
like, everyone is in the same position.
I feel like people. Again, I feel like I'm not qualified to talk about this. I've never experienced it, but that's what people seem to forget. Like when I used to hear about my mates when they were all, I was still making YouTube videos when all my mates went off to uni. Everyone there, no matter whether they're confident, they look boisterous. This is their first time at uni as well. Whatever you're thinking, they're thinking as well.
Oh yeah. They're all just like like, oh, I hope I make some friends. Be friends with them. Yeah. Like if you're thinking I want to make some friends, there's probably someone over there who's thinking exactly the same thing. So just go and talk to them, and that's all it really boiled down to university. And it was a really good learning experience as well. Actually, it just taught me like so much stuff. Like independence is invaluable, really, isn't it?
So to answer his question, what general advice? That's what he's asked for. Any general advice?
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
What would you
get involved in as much
everything.
as you can? As much as you can. Go to there might not be freshers reps where you are, but find like a local pre-drinks that's going on. Like maybe there's one happening in the halls down from you or whatever. Go to the freshers fair because that's where all of the sports teams gather, and there's loads of different stuff, and they all just want new recruits. So just go in, join your favourite team, do like a new sport that you've never done before. Like at our uni, there was like things like frisbee golf and like
there's clubs for everything.
There's literally there's a sports team for everything. Yeah. So if you're like, I'm not really all that good at sport, go and do something that no one else has played before. Like most people haven't played lacrosse, have they? And then you make a huge group of friends there. You've got the people that you live with that are your friends. Then you'll make friends off your course. And you'll have someone to go out with like maybe 3 nights of the week, and just don't overdo it. That's the only thing.
How would you have rated your uni experience out of 10?
First year was a 10. Second year was.
Did you know anyone?
No,
really?
Not a single person when I got there. No, there was someone who lived just down the road from me, but I'd never met him before. Maybe like 10-15 minute drive in a different town. But other than that, I didn't know anyone. But yeah, 10, 9, and then maybe a 7, something like that.
Fair.
The more work they throw at you, the worse it got. Pretty much.
And so where can the listeners find you?
CapGunTom. Just Google it. There you go.
Really professional, isn't
it? Do you know what? To be fair, yeah, that'll just give you everything they need, won't it?
Yeah.
They'll probably find some interesting pictures about you, though.
Oh, yeah, they probably will. Yeah, no, but don't search that. It's on Instagram, it's CapGunTom. Twitter.com/CapGunTom. I want you to go directly there.
But your YouTube's Tom Capgun, isn't it?
It is, but I've got the vanity URL of CapGunTom.
Fair enough. There you go.
Well. So there you go.
Well, there you go.